This is a woman, 26 years old. Look at what it says. I now know that I am not a trans man. She underwent double mastectomy and hormone therapy to become male after just 2 hours. 2 hours of counseling tells of her regret as she begins detransitioning back to female. Okay, there's a whole movement out there of people that are detransitioning who are coming out now. I don't know if you've heard this. It was in, some of the people were in Matt Walsh's What is a Woman documentary. I don't know if you saw it. It's interesting, no matter where you stand on the issue. There are people now coming out and saying, I was able to go private. This particular woman originally went through the NHS, National Health Service of England. That's government-run healthcare, and they told her there was going to be a wait. So she said, I don't want to wait. I'm going to go private, and was able to have that minimal amount of time conversation with somebody. And they say, okay, winds up getting a double mastectomy, and then panics a short time after and realizes, okay, this is not right. This is not what I want to do, and doesn't go through with the remainder of the surgery. And now is out there warning people and saying, think about this. And even goes on to tell the story about how, she was in a world where she was looking online and seeing people that felt out of place, people that felt out of their element, and was thinking, well, maybe that's me. Maybe that's me. And now is encouraging people to get a substantial amount of therapy, do a substantial amount of thinking, get a substantial amount of counseling to figure out what is really at the root of what's going on there. Don't forget to hit subscribe and hit like if you like the discussion that we're having right now. These people have been silenced that have detransitioned. They're repeatedly silenced. They're labeled bigots. She goes on to say in that article even that she has been referred to as anti-trans now. Has to deal with that label of being anti. This is somebody who herself went through a partial transition, now is anti-trans. She's not anti-trans. She's just saying, look, I'm just telling you, a couple of hours is not enough time to make a decision of this caliber. It's not enough time to make a decision like this. But you can't talk about that, right? Because if you talk about that, you have to be willing to acknowledge that what's going on is crazy right now. And they're pushing this stuff on kids. We've talked about the puberty blockers. We've talked about gender transition surgery for kids. Is it now going to be that you walk in, you're a parent, you walk in with your kid, and you sit for counseling for 2 hours, and your kid can get all of these drugs and potentially a surgical transition? Also, if somebody that's 26 years old, that's also a very young person, but if somebody 26 years old could go through something like that, come out the other side and say, I wasn't set in how I felt about this. What do you think a 13-year-old? They're not set in anything at 13. Everything is like fluid, how they feel about this, how they feel about that. You don't think maybe that child, maybe who's been looking on the internet, on TikTok, and says, I feel out of place. Maybe there's a kid out there that feels out of place in their community, doesn't know what's going on. Maybe they don't know. Their sexuality is kind of up in the air. They're confused. 13 years old, thinking, I don't know what I am. I don't know. I don't fit in anywhere. There's a whole bunch of videos that you can pull up and, this person transitioned and felt better. Oh, this person transitioned and got well. Oh, that's me. Let me do that. You don't think that could happen? Of course it can happen. You don't think that 13-year-old could change their mind in a few years and say, wait, that wasn't what it was about. Maybe it was about something else. Maybe it was about my family. Maybe it was about my sexuality, but not a desire to transition. Think about what's going on here. And now you have these people that have detransitioned that are raising these warnings, and watch it. Wait for it and watch. They are going to be ostracized. They are going to be ostracized. Some have been already. Some of the people that were in the documentary that I mentioned from Matt Walsh have already been ostracized. Already on Twitter. I see the comments. Oh, you're disloyal. Disloyal? These people, remember, these people are telling their stories. They have a right to tell those stories. They're trying to help somebody. They're trying to help somebody out there who may feel lost. And all they're saying is, give yourself a second. This is a really big decision. It's not reversible in many ways. It changes your life in many ways. Please think it through. Please do more than 2 hours of a counseling session before you make this drastic decision. They're speaking to parents. You don't think they're speaking to parents? Of course they are. They're saying, just give it a pause. Give it some time. There's a way to be supportive of what your child is going through, whatever it may be, and not just a knee-jerk reaction with something that's medical, with something that has consequences, with something that may not be reversible.
Well, and this chick was 21 when she transitioned, but it's like you see in places like Seattle and Oregon, and you don't even have to take your parents. You can be 13 years old, go to your doctor, and your doctor's legally required to give you and treat you with transitioning care, whatever the proper term is, right?
And what is that really? Is it drugs? Is it now, once you start on the drugs, you're then put into counseling where whatever you thought is being fortified, which you may not be set on, you may just be like, think about a child. Like, I can't tell you how many things have been said to me in classrooms over the years where kids are just kind of like thinking out loud. Now it's like, oh, well, they thought, get them into a program. Give it a second. This stuff, and depending upon where you live in the country, Tyler is right. These things sometimes can escalate very quickly, and parents oftentimes have no idea what's going on. That's a scary reality for a parent. Very, very scary reality.
Well, and they've run numbers on this, and once somebody transitions, you have them for life. And the amount of profit that the drug companies and the pharmaceutical companies can make off of one person who transitioned is astounding.
Right.
Absolutely astronomical.
Right.
I want to say it's like upwards of $500,000 that you can make off of these people.
Yeah, of course, because it's drugs. You have to, once you start, if you're a biological woman, you want to become a man, you're not just going to have a surgery and that's going to happen. You have to change your whole hormonal composition, or at least try to.
And then you have to keep it that way.
And you have to keep it that way.
It's
so it's a
ongoing
monthly prescription, right? So, and that's key about big pharma too, is that what you see unfolding. We just did a segment about obesity. Who benefits from that? Pharma. Why? Because the population is sick after that. They're sick. The population becomes ill, right? You're more predisposed to being chronically sick if you're obese. Big pharma, check. Maybe they'll be on heart medicine. Check. That's monthly. Maybe their thyroid will not. Check. You know, now you've got all this gender stuff going on. You think pharma doesn't benefit? Of course they do. That is a lifetime guaranteed customer. If you like the short clip, you can catch another one here, or you can catch the full episode right here.